All right, so we're diving into insurance claims manager interviews today.
Definitely a challenging one.
Yeah, you need to really know your stuff.
And be able to think on your feet.
We've got some great resources from RoleCatcher to help us out today.
Their career guides and interview guides are awesome.
Oh, and their AI tools, too.
Those are a game changer for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about those more in a bit.
Sounds good, but first...
Let's jump into some of those tricky interview questions.
All right, so imagine you're in the hot seat.
And the interviewer says, describe your experience in managing insurance claims.
Whoa. Okay, where do you even begin?
Right. It seems simple, but
There's a lot they're looking for there.
you need to showcase your expertise.
Not just give a generic overview.
So think about the types of claims you've handled.
The processes you used, the software you're familiar with.
Did you deal with any difficult clients?
Were there any really tricky situations?
Paint a clear picture for them.
And RoleCatcher's guide, actually.
Emphasizes quantifying your impacts.
Whenever possible.
So instead of saying, I improved customer satisfaction,
You could say something like,
I implemented a new process that reduced customer complaints by 15%.
numbers speak volumes.
They really do, and always be ready for follow-up questions.
Like, what were the biggest challenges you faced in that situation?
Or, how did you actually measure that customer satisfaction?
Okay, next question.
How have you ensured compliance with state and federal regulations related to insurance claims?
Ooh, this one's all about showing you understand the legal side of things.
And how to navigate it properly?
Did you ever implement a new compliance procedure?
Or maybe train your team on updated regulations
Share those concrete examples.
of how you put that knowledge into action.
Don't just say, I'm aware of the regulations.
Show them you've got the experience to back it up.
They might even ask you to walk them through a specific regulation.
And how you applied it in a real-world scenario.
So be ready to go deep.
All right, now for a question that really tests your problem-solving skills.
Hit me with it.
How have you handled difficult insurance claims situations?
Okay, this is where storytelling comes in handy.
Tell a story that highlights your ability to stay calm under pressure.
To analyze a situation.
And then find a solution.
Think of a particularly challenging claim you dealt with.
What were the obstacles you overcame?
What were the steps you took?
And ultimately, what was the outcome you achieved?
RoleCatcher actually recommends
Using the STAR method here.
situation, task, action, result.
It's a really great way to structure your response clearly.
And in a compelling way.
And again, be prepared for those follow-up questions.
Like, what did you learn from this experience?
Or looking back, would you have done anything differently?
They want to see that you're reflective.
And constantly learning from your experiences.
Okay, next up.
We have a question that seems pretty direct.
What is it?
How have you improved the efficiency of insurance claims processing in your previous roles?
It's direct, but...
It's also a fantastic opportunity to demonstrate your initiative.
And your results-oriented thinking.
Did you implement any new software systems?
Did you streamline a workflow?
Quantify your impact?
Did you reduce processing time?
Cut down on errors?
Increase customer satisfaction.
RoleCatcher suggests painting a before and after picture.
To really drive home those improvements.
Yeah, it helps the interviewer really visualize the impact you made.
And be ready for questions about the challenges you faced.
When you implemented those changes,
Like, how did you overcome them?
they want to understand your process.
And how you handle those obstacles.
Okay. Shifting gears a bit.
Right.
Here's a question about managing a team.
Okay, so the question is, describe your experience with managing a team of insurance claims adjusters.
This is all about your leadership style.
Have you ever mentored junior adjusters?
Or motivated your team to achieve specific goals.
Did you ever have to resolve conflicts effectively?
Talk about the size of the teams you've led.
The types of claims they handled?
And most importantly, your approach to leadership.
This is where those soft skills really shine.
Communication, collaboration, delegation.
RoleCatcher even has a section on leadership styles in their career guide.
Yeah, they highlight the importance of adapting your style.
To different situations and team members.
It's not one size fits, all right?
Exactly, and be ready to talk about a time.
When you had to give difficult feedback,
Or handle a conflict within your team.
they're looking for empathy.
And a constructive approach to management.
Now let's tackle a question
Okay.
about those really tricky situations.
Lay it on me.
How have you handled situations where a claimant has disputed the outcome of their claim?
This is where you need to showcase your diplomacy skills.
And your ability to resolve conflicts effectively.
You need to show that you can navigate those challenging situations.
With professionalism and with empathy.
Describe a specific case where you faced a dispute.
And highlight your communication skills.
Your ability to really listen to the claimant's concerns.
And your process for finding a resolution
RoleCatcher's advice here.
is to emphasize your ability to remain objective.
And focus on facts, even when emotions are running high.
It's so easy to get caught up in the emotion of a situation.
But you need to show you can stay calm and make fair decisions.
Okay, one more question before we move on.
All right, let's hear it.
How have you ensured the accuracy of insurance claims payments in your previous roles?
Attention to detail is key,
They want to know that you're committed to getting things right.
especially when it comes to money.
So describe the steps you take to verify information
It's double-check calculation.
and to ensure that payments are processed correctly
Do you have any experience with tools or software?
that help improve accuracy.
Don't forget to mention those.
Think about systems for fraud detection,
Claims auditing.
automated payment processing,
Anything that demonstrates your commitment to accuracy.
and be ready to discuss a time.
When you may have discovered an error in a claim payment,
How did you handle it?
what steps did you take to correct it?
And to prevent similar errors in the future.
So we've covered some tough questions.
But now I want to talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can really help you prepare.
Oh yeah, this is where things get interesting.
You know how RoleCatcher can tailor your resume to a specific job description?
Well, imagine that same level of personalization, but applied to your interview answers.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, come more.
So RoleCatcher's AI analyzes the job description.
And then what?
It provides tailored insights and feedback.
For each interview question.
Exactly. It's like having a personal coach.
Who knows exactly what this hiring manager is looking for?
Like, so cool.
So it's not just generic advice.
Nope. It's specific to the job you're applying for.
I'm impressed. So give me an example.
Okay. Let's say the job description really emphasizes analytical skills.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI will highlight questions where you can showcase that strength.
And then?
It'll give you tips on how to frame your answers.
So it's like it knows what they're looking for.
Exactly. Or let's say the company is known for its collaborative culture. The AI will point out opportunities to highlight your teamwork skills.
And help you strike the right tone.
It takes all the guesswork out of interview prep.
That's incredible.
And it goes beyond content, too.
What do you mean?
You can record yourself answering practice questions.
Oh, wow.
And the AI will analyze your video.
Really?
It'll give you feedback on your delivery, your pacing, your tone,
What else?
even your body language.
It's like having a virtual interview coach.
Right in your pocket.
I'm sold.
And the more you use it,
The better it gets.
exactly, the more personalized the feedback becomes.
So we've covered some key interview questions.
And how RoleCatcher can give you an edge.
But let's not forget about the big picture.
What does a career as an insurance claims manager actually look like?
What are the different stages?
That's what we'll dive into next.
The career path insights.
To really help you understand where this role can take you.
Awesome. Let's get to it.
Sounds good. So before we get back to those interview questions, I want to take a look at the bigger picture. The career path of an insurance claims manager. RoleCatcher actually lays it all out pretty clearly in their career guide. They break it down into 4 stages.
Okay, I'm listening.
So you start as an insurance claims officer. That's where you're really getting your hands dirty, reviewing claims, gathering documentation, talking to policyholders. You're building that foundation.
It's all about the fundamentals.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher has these example profiles for each stage so you can really see what each role looks like day to day.
Oh, that's really helpful. So it's not just titles. You get a feel for the actual work.
Right. So for that insurance claims officer, they mention things like developing your attention to detail, honing those communication skills, becoming proficient in using claims management software, the practical stuff.
Makes sense. So what's next?
You move up to senior insurance claims officer. Now you're taking on more responsibility, maybe supervising junior officers, handling more complex claims, potentially even assisting with fraud investigations.
So you're starting to specialize a bit more.
You could say that the example profile for this stage talks about deepening your knowledge of insurance policies and procedures, collaborating with external stakeholders like brokers and adjusters, and you're starting to flex those leadership muscles a bit more.
Okay, I like it. So you're becoming more well-rounded. What's the next step?
Then comes the claims team leader role.
Okay, so now we're talking serious leadership.
Exactly. You're managing a team of claims officers, monitoring their performance setting goals, making sure things are running smoothly, and everyone's working together.
So it's not just about managing claims anymore. It's about managing people.
Right on the example profile talks about strategic thinking, process improvement, and creating a positive and productive team environment.
Sounds like a lot of responsibility.
It is, but it's also very rewarding. And then finally, you arrive at the insurance claims manager role.
The top spot.
You've climbed the ladder, you're overseeing the entire department, making sure everything's compliant with regulations, developing policies and procedures, and providing strategic guidance to senior management.
That's impressive. So what does the example profile say for this stage?
They talk about having that deep knowledge and experience in insurance claims, strong leadership skills, and a real commitment to continuous improvement.
It's like the culmination of everything you've learned along the way.
Exactly. So now that we have a better sense of the career path, let's get back to those interview questions, because understanding where this role can take, you can help you answer them with even more confidence.
I like that approach. Okay, so what's next?
Let's see, how about this one? How do you stay up to date on the latest industry trends and regulations?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you know now. It's about showing that you're committed to continuous learning, that you're proactive, and you take initiative to stay informed.
Exactly. So think about industry publications. You read conferences or webinars. You've attended professional organizations you belong to. Maybe you've even taken some courses or earned certifications to enhance your knowledge.
This reminds me, RoleCatcher actually lists some valuable certifications in their career guide. Certified Insurance Claims Manager, CICM, Certified Fraud Examiner, CFE, Chartered Property Casualty Underwriter, CPCU Associate in Claims AIC. Those could give you a real competitive edge.
Absolutely. They demonstrate a commitment to professional development, and be prepared to talk about specific examples of how you've applied that knowledge in your work. Maybe you implemented a new procedure based on a recent regulatory change, or you shared insights from an industry conference with your team.
Okay, next question. Describe a time when you had to deal with a particularly complex or challenging insurance claim. How did you approach the situation?
This is another chance to really showcase your problem-solving skills and your analytical skills. So choose an example that highlights your ability to think critically and find creative solutions. Maybe it was a claim with conflicting information, or a difficult policyholder, or a unique situation that required some outside-the-box thinking.
I like it. Remember that STAR method we talked about?
Yeah.
Use it here to structure your response and keep it focused.
Definitely. And don't be afraid to talk about the challenges you faced and what you learned from the experience. Those are valuable insights for the interviewer.
Okay, this next one's a bit tricky. How would you handle a situation where you suspect fraudulent activity related to an insurance claim?
This is a sensitive topic for sure. They're assessing your ethical judgment, your knowledge of fraud indicators, and your ability to act decisively while following proper procedures. It's important to demonstrate that you're aware of fraud prevention and detection methods.
RoleCatcher actually mentions in their interview guide that you should familiarize yourself with common fraud schemes and indicators, as well as the company's internal policies and procedures for handling suspected fraud.
Exactly. They want to know that you can identify red flags, conduct thorough investigations, and take appropriate action while protecting the company's interests.
So walk them through your process from recognizing those potential fraud indicators to gathering evidence, consulting with the relevant parties, and taking appropriate action.
And make sure to emphasize the importance of maintaining confidentiality and adhering to all legal and ethical guidelines.
Okay, good advice. Now let's talk about a question that focuses on the people side of the job. How do you build and maintain strong relationships with various stakeholders involved in the claims process, adjusters, brokers, legal teams, even senior management?
This one's all about your communication and interpersonal skills. They want to know that you can effectively collaborate with a diverse group of people and navigate different personalities and perspectives.
RoleCatcher's Insights section for this question actually emphasizes the importance of understanding the needs and perspectives of different stakeholders.
That's key. You need to be able to adapt your communication style, build rapport, and find common ground, even when there are disagreements. Give specific examples of how you've successfully managed stakeholder relationships in the past.
Maybe a time you had to resolve a conflict between an adjuster and a policyholder, or when you successfully negotiated a settlement with a third party.
Exactly. And be prepared for follow-up questions like, what's your approach to dealing with difficult stakeholders? Or how do you handle situations where there are conflicting interests?
Okay, good points. Now, let's tackle one more question before we wrap up this section. What are your salary expectations for this role?
The salary question, it's always a bit awkward, but it's important to be prepared. Do your research beforehand. Use websites like Glassdoor or salary.com to get a sense of the typical salary range for insurance claims managers in your area and with your level of experience.
You know what's really helpful? RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually provides salary benchmarks for each stage of the career path.
That's a great resource, and remember, it's a negotiation. Don't be afraid to state your desired salary range confidently and be prepared to justify it based on your skills and experience.
And if they offer a salary that's below your expectations, don't be afraid to counter offer or negotiate other aspects of the compensation package, like benefits or vacation time.
Exactly. Know your worth and advocate for yourself.
Or we've covered a lot of ground in this section. We've talked about the career path of an insurance claims manager and tackled some tough interview questions.
And don't forget, we talked about how RoleCatcher can really help you prepare with their AI-powered tool.
Oh yeah, that's a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Well, now that we've talked about getting the job, let's shift gears and talk about what it takes to succeed in this role long term and what the future holds for insurance claims management.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about landing the job, but now I want to shift gears a bit and talk about what it takes to actually thrive in this role long term. You know, the insurance industry is changing so rapidly. What skills do you think are going to be most valuable for an insurance claims manager 5, 10 years down the line?
That's a great question. And honestly, something anyone who's serious about their career should be thinking about. We're already seeing technology transform the industry, and that's only going to accelerate. Think AI, machine learning, blockchain. They're all going to have a huge impact on how insurance works.
So yeah, being comfortable with tech is a must, but it's more than just knowing how to use software, right?
Exactly. It's about understanding how tech is changing the entire insurance ecosystem. What are the new possibilities? What are the new risks? A future-focused insurance claims manager needs to be tech-savvy, but also adaptable, ready to embrace those new ways of doing things.
This reminds me, RoleCatcher's career guide really emphasizes the importance of continuous learning. They recommend staying informed about emerging technologies and seeking out opportunities to develop new skills.
Absolutely. And you know what else ties into that data literacy? The insurance industry is becoming so data-driven. Claims managers need to be able to actually extract insights from that data, identify trends, and then use that information to make informed decisions.
So it's not just about managing those individual claims, it's about seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly. And think about the potential. You could use data to improve fraud detection, personalize customer experiences, even develop new insurance products.
It's almost like being part detective, part data scientist, and part customer service guru, all rolled into one.
You got it. And with all this tech and data, the importance of ethics and strong decision-making skills, those can't be overstated. Claims managers are going to face increasingly complex situations. They need to be able to navigate those with integrity and sound judgment.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Technology can help us do things more efficiently,
Yeah.
but it's still people making those important decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the human element. Even with all the advancements in automation, the ability to connect with people, to build trust, to communicate effectively, those will always be invaluable, especially when you're dealing with customers who are going through really stressful situations.
And RoleCatcher's interview guide stresses that too, the importance of empathy and active listening when you're responding to those questions about handling difficult situations. It's about showing them you can be both professional and compassionate.
It's that human touch that makes all the difference. So to wrap up, I think the future insurance claims manager needs to be this fascinating blend of tech-savvy, innovator, data-driven decision-maker, empathetic communicator, and ethical leader. Quite a combination.
It's definitely challenging,
Yeah.
but it sounds exciting. And with the right tools and the right mindset, there's no limit to what you can achieve.
Right.
I really hope this deep dive has given everyone listening a solid understanding of not only what it takes to land the job, but what it takes to build a truly successful and fulfilling career in insurance claims management.
Remember, the industry is constantly evolving. So embrace continuous learning, stay curious, and never stop asking questions.
Great advice. And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way. With their resources and AI-powered tools, you can confidently navigate those challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
So go out there and make your mark on the world of insurance.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.